I'm Mercy Anderson, and I'm about to share something I never imagined I'd tell anyone. If someone had told me before that I would die and come back with an important message about Jesus returning, I would have laughed at them. I used to make fun of pastors who talked about Jesus coming back. Every time someone mentioned it, I'd roll my eyes and say people have been saying that forever and nothing happens. But after what happened to me, I'll never laugh about it again. I grew up going to church. My mom and dad loved God, and we went almost every Sunday. But when I got older, I started caring more about other stuff. I spent all my time on social media, watching famous people online and hanging out with friends who didn't care about God. The idea of Jesus coming back sounded like an old scary story. When I saw videos about it online, I'd write comments like, "Stop trying to scare people. God is about love." Looking back now, I realize I didn't really understand what God's love meant. I used it as an excuse to do whatever I wanted, thinking God would let everything slide because he was too nice to punish anyone. Before I keep going, let me know where you're from in the comments. It would make me feel closer to you even though we're far apart. And please hit the like button to help more people hear this story. Share what you think about what I'm going to tell you. Let's talk about it together so we can all learn. And subscribe if you want to hear more stories like this. Okay, here we go. Let me tell you about my life before this happened. I'm 23 years old and I worked at a company that did advertising and marketing in the city. My whole life was about my job, being on social media, and my friendships. I had more than 10,000 people following me online and I loved all the attention. Every single morning, the first thing I did was check my phone before I even said hi to anyone. My phone was like my temple, and getting likes and comments was what I worshipped. My parents called me every week asking if I went to church, if I was praying, if I was reading the Bible. I'd give them quick answers, and sometimes I'd lie just to get them to stop asking. "Yes, Mom, I'm praying. Yes, Dad, I went to church last week." But the truth was I hadn't even opened a Bible in over 2 years. The only time I talked about God was when I wanted to sound spiritual on the internet, or when I was arguing with someone about religion. I had friends who believed in God and they'd send me clips of church sermons or Bible verses through text. I'd read them and sometimes send back a heart emoji, but I never really let any of it sink in deep. It was all just surface stuff. I treated faith like it was just part of my culture, not something real and alive. The week before everything happened, I remember seeing a video of a girl crying and saying Jesus told her he was coming back soon. I called her crazy and said she needed help. I even told my friend while we were having coffee, if Jesus is really coming, he should just hurry up already. I'm tired of hearing about it. We both laughed hard. Those words would come back to haunt me in ways I never could have imagined. It was a quiet Friday night in late fall. The weather outside was cool and I'd spent the evening watching movies and video chatting with my friends. We talked about everything. Drama at work, celebrity news, what we were doing that weekend. I remember laughing so much that night and feeling really happy with my life exactly how it was. Before bed, I scrolled through social media one more time. I saw a post about an earthquake that happened somewhere in Southeast Asia. A lot of people had died. Someone wrote in the comments, "These are signs of the end times. Jesus is coming back soon." I giggled, left a sarcastic emoji, and kept scrolling. I turned off my phone, got cozy under my blanket, and closed my eyes. I lay down and fell into a deep sleep. But in the middle of the night, something weird happened. Suddenly, I realized I was still in bed, but I could see myself from above. It was like I was floating near the ceiling, looking down at my own body. My body was completely still, not breathing, looking peaceful. I tried to move, but I couldn't. My heart started racing, but at the same time, I had no heartbeat. The room looked normal, but something felt different. The air felt thick, and there was this strange, heavy silence. I felt something pulling me, like an invisible force was dragging me away from my body, away from everything I knew. In just a second, everything changed. I found myself standing in a big open field. The change happened so fast it made my head spin. The sky above me was bright, but not from the sun. It glowed with this golden shining light that seemed alive, moving with warmth and energy. I heard a sound in the distance like a horn, deep and powerful, coming from everywhere at once. It shook through my entire being, making me tremble. Then I saw it. People floating up into the sky. They were coming from everywhere, from all directions. Some disappeared in bright flashes of light, their bodies changing instantly. I watched families find each other and float up together holding hands with huge smiles on their faces. I could hear singing and worship filling the air. The sound was overwhelming and more beautiful than anything I can describe. Angels were everywhere, helping the floating souls go toward the light above. It was so beautiful that for a moment I couldn't move. I was amazed, but then fear hit me hard. My feet stayed stuck on the ground. I looked down at my hands, my body. I was still there, still on the ground. Panic started building up in my chest. I looked around frantically and saw other people who were also left behind. Hundreds, maybe thousands of people scattered across the field. They were confused, crying, screaming, reaching up toward the sky desperately. A woman close to me fell to her knees, crying, "No, take me, please take me." A man ran in circles yelling names, probably his family members who had disappeared. Kids stood frozen in shock with tears pouring down their faces. The difference between the happiness of those going up and the horror of those staying was unbearable. I screamed as loud as I could, "Lord, what's happening? Why am I still here? I'm a Christian." I went to church. Right then, I heard another sound. The same trumpet, but quieter now, like it was fading away, like a door was closing. A voice spoke behind me, calm but filled with deep sadness. "It has happened. The time you made fun of is here." I turned around slowly, my whole body shaking. There stood a man dressed in white, his clothes shining with light brighter than anything I'd ever seen. His face glowed with both love and holiness. His eyes, oh his eyes, looked like they carried both endless love and deep pain. My heart knew right away without any doubt it was Jesus. I fell to my knees, shaking so badly I could barely hold myself up. I couldn't talk at first. My throat felt closed, my mouth was dry, tears flooded my face, pouring down like rivers. "Lord," I finally whispered, my voice breaking. "Please take me with you, I believe now, I believe." Jesus looked at me and his voice was gentle but strong, with power that made the ground under me feel shaky. "My daughter, I came to you many times through my word, through my servants, through dreams and warnings. But you made fun of me. You said I was slow, but I was patient, giving you time to change. You thought I didn't care, but I was waiting for you to turn back to me." Every word felt like a knife in my heart. I cried harder, my whole body shaking. "Please, Lord, I didn't understand. I thought you were too merciful to leave anyone behind. I thought grace covered everything." He stepped closer and the light around him got brighter, making me cover my eyes for a second. "Mercy was always there," he said, his voice heavy with emotion. "But you treated grace like it meant you could keep sinning. You heard my truth, but you liked lies that made you comfortable. I warned you through my servants, but you called it fear-mongering. I sent people to remind you, but you shut them up by mocking them. You knew the truth, Mercy. You knew it since you were a child. But you chose fun over holiness, being popular over doing right." Every word hit my heart like fire. Memories rushed into my mind. All the times I scrolled past sermons on my feed, all the times I made fun of preachers telling people to change their ways, all the times I laughed at the idea of Jesus coming back like it was some old myth. I saw myself typing those mean comments to that girl who warned about Jesus returning. I saw myself lying to my parents about going to church. I saw the pride, the attitude, the rebellion. All of it played in front of my eyes like a movie I couldn't stop. "Lord," I sobbed, falling forward until my face touched the ground. "Please give me another chance. I don't want to be left behind. I'll change, I'll serve you, I'll tell everyone." He looked toward the sky where the last bit of light was fading. The final group of believers was disappearing into the clouds, their songs getting quieter and farther away. Then he turned back to me, his face showing both compassion and sadness. "Do you hear the trumpet?" he asked softly. I listened hard, trying to catch the sound. The trumpet was far away now, fading like a song going into the distance until it was almost gone. "The door's closing," he said, his voice filled with grief. "The time of grace is ending. Those who truly loved me, who lived for me, who made me the boss of their lives, they're gone to be with me forever. Those who played around with sin, who only said they believed me but didn't really mean it in their hearts, who treated salvation like cheap insurance, they're left to face what they refused to believe." I screamed, my voice raw, "No, please, Lord, forgive me, I'm begging you." Jesus knelt beside me and lifted my chin gently with his hand. His touch was warm, filled with a love I had never known existed. His eyes shone with tears, actual tears. Tears for me, tears for the lost, tears for those who had said no to his call. "I have forgiven you many times, Mercy," he said, his voice almost breaking. "Every time you sinned and felt that small guilty feeling in your heart, that was me calling you back. But you never turned away from your bad choices. You said sorry with your mouth, but kept doing the same things with your actions. You treated my blood like it was nothing, like my death on the cross was just a safety net so you could keep jumping into sin." I couldn't stop crying. My whole body shook with sobs. I had no defense, no excuse. Everything he said was true. He continued, "But because of my mercy, because your parents never stopped praying for you, you will go back and tell them what you've seen. Tell them I'm coming soon, sooner than they think. Tell them to stop mocking and start watching. Tell them to stop pretending at church and start living holy lives. Tell them the door of grace won't stay open forever." As he spoke, the ground under me started shaking. The bright field started turning dark. The golden light faded, replaced by a scary darkness. I could hear people crying in the distance, their voices filled with terror. Chaos was rising, screams, shouts, the sound of things being destroyed, fires burning somewhere far away. It was the world left behind. The world that would face the terrible times coming. I reached out desperately toward Jesus, but he was slowly rising, his form starting to disappear into the fading light above. "Lord, don't leave me," I cried. "Don't leave me here." He smiled sadly, a smile that broke my heart into pieces. "This is not your end, Mercy. Go back. Warn them. Time is shorter than anyone realizes. Tell them I love them, but they must choose me fully. Warn them that my patience has limits, that judgment is real, that hell is real, that the terrible times will be worse than anything ever seen on earth. Tell them not to wait. Tell them to come to me now." Then everything went silent. The screaming stopped. The light vanished. There was only darkness and the feeling of falling. I felt myself falling backward fast, out of control. The wind rushed past my ears and I couldn't breathe. I felt like I was being pulled through a tunnel, through space and time itself. Then suddenly I hit something soft. My eyes flew open. I was lying in my bed, gasping for breath. My lungs burned like I'd been underwater too long. My pillow was completely soaked with tears. My whole body was shaking badly, covered in cold sweat. My heart was pounding so hard I thought it might explode. I looked around frantically. The room was the same. My dresser, my mirror, my clothes on the chair, my phone on the nightstand, but everything felt different. The world felt less real, like a fake set that could fall apart any second. I knew I was back in my body, back in the world. But my heart had changed forever. I fell out of bed onto the floor and cried for hours. I couldn't stop. I kept saying over and over, "Thank you, Jesus, for mercy. Thank you for another chance. Thank you, thank you, thank you." I looked at the clock. It was 4:47 in the morning. My phone was still on the nightstand. When I picked it up with shaking hands, I saw that the earthquake post from earlier was still there. The mocking comment I had left was still visible. Shame and guilt washed over me like a wave. That morning I couldn't go back to sleep. I sat on my floor with my old Bible, the one my parents gave me when I got baptized as a teenager. I opened it for the first time in years and started reading. The words that used to seem boring and pointless now felt alive and urgent. As soon as the sun came up, I deleted all my mocking posts online. Every sarcastic comment, every dismissive remark about faith, about Jesus coming back, about living right. I removed them all. I reached out to the girl I had insulted weeks before and sent her a long message apologizing, telling her she was right, that God had shown me the truth. She wrote back with kindness, thanking me and saying she'd been praying for me. That Sunday I went to my parents' church. When the pastor asked if anyone wanted to come forward, I ran up front with tears streaming down my face. I told everyone what happened to me. I confessed my sin, my mocking, my pride. I gave my life to Christ fully, completely, holding nothing back this time. Some people believed me. Some looked like they weren't sure. Some whispered that I was being dramatic. But I kept speaking. I couldn't stay quiet. Even now, months later, as I tell this story, I tremble remembering that sound, that trumpet that shook my soul to its core. The image of people rising, the joy on their faces and the unbearable pain of those left behind will never leave me. It's burned into my memory forever. This world feels so temporary now. Everything people chase, fame, money, fun, power, followers, all of it means nothing when you stand before the reality of forever. I see people around me living exactly like I used to, mocking the same warnings, ignoring the same signs, making the same excuses. My heart breaks for them. I've lost some friends since sharing my story. They think I've become too religious, too extreme, too judgmental, but I'd rather lose every friend on earth than see them face what I saw. I'd rather be mocked now than watch them be left behind later. My relationship with my parents has been restored. They cry every time they see me now. thanking God for answering their prayers. My mom told me they'd been fasting and praying for me to be saved for 5 years straight. They never gave up even when I pushed them away. I spend my time differently now. I read the Bible every day. Not because I have to, but because I want to. I pray all the time, not just memorized prayers, but real conversations with God. I share the gospel whenever I can, no longer afraid of what people think. I go to prayer meetings, help at my church, and try to live every day like Jesus could come back at any moment. Because he could. I don't tell this story for attention or to get more followers. I tell it because it's real, because it's urgent, because people's lives and souls are at stake. Jesus is coming soon, sooner than many think. The signs are everywhere. Earthquakes are increasing. Wars and rumors of wars fill the news. Lies are everywhere, even in the church. People's love has grown cold. These aren't coincidences. They're warnings. Don't make the mistake I made. Don't laugh at his warnings. Don't assume grace means you can keep sinning. Don't think you have more time. Don't believe the lie that God is too loving to judge. He is loving, that's why he's still warning. But he's also holy, and he's also just. If you're reading this and you know you're not ready, please don't wait. The trumpet could sound at any moment. It could be tonight. It could be tomorrow. It could be while you're reading these very words. Only God knows the day and hour. But he's given us signs so we won't be caught off guard. When I mocked the idea of Jesus returning, I thought it was a joke, an old religious tale to scare people into going to church. But when I stood there watching people disappear, when I felt the ground under my feet while others rose into glory, my laughter turned into screams. I'll never forget what I saw. I'll never forget his face. I'll never forget the sound of that trumpet, and I'll spend the rest of my days making sure others don't have to experience the terror of being left behind. The choice is yours. Choose Jesus. May God bless you and open your eyes to see the truth before it's too late. Thank you for watching. If this story has blessed you, please like this video and share it with your friends and family. Also, subscribe to this channel for more content like this. Remain blessed.